Good morning, good morning. Oh, it's a start of the latter part of the autumn, the cold part. I'm going to have to go the fast way today. Because I'm a bit late. But anyway, it's nice to be back on the air. I'm going to sort of give you a bit of an insight into what's going on. Let me just get through here. That's it. Lovely. And talk about resilience. Because resilience is something you have to get through life these days. And resilience is greatly related to redundancy. So just to give you a simple example, if you drive a car and your car breaks down, you've got no car. Whereas if you've got two cars, then you've got some redundancy there, haven't you? You've got one car redundancy, and that gives you some resilience, so you can continue to function in the face of adversity. Now, if you immediately jump to the conclusion that I was telling everybody to buy two cars, then you've missed the point a bit, because it doesn't have to be your two cars, does it? It could be you've got a car or your partner's got a car, so that if your car breaks down, at least for a week or so, your partner could take you to work. Or your parents live around the corner and they've got a car, so they could take you to work or whatever. So it's all about redundancy is all about having a support network and a certain amount of overcapacity. So another example of that recently has been I've got two dental chairs pretty much side by side in the place I work, and if one of them breaks down, we just simply use the other one. Normally we alternate, which allows the nurses to set up, like for example, for dentures in one and a root treatment in the other. Oh, this is this puddle, by the way. It used to be quite a bad puddle here, but I think they've come and unblocked the drains, so it hasn't really built up again, which it would have done on a day like today, after all the rain yesterday. So yeah, and we have had situations where the chairs have broken down for a long time. We had one light, the wiring went on the light, and then the air hoses go quite frequently, because they're 20 years old now, so we're constantly bursting hoses. We've got reels of air pressure pipe on standby, and we've been known to my nurse and I have been known to strip a chair down and run a pipe right the way through, from the control box through to the chair. Oh, that was close. We nearly managed to do it. I'm just going to have to inch in front of you. Sorry, mate. So I'm going to make a big effort to try and get this video uploaded today. And the reason for that is that I've got a backlog of videos which I haven't uploaded for various reasons. And so I'm rather hoping those various reasons have now been overcome, and that I can at least start uploading again. And The reason why I haven't uploaded anything is because of a series of freak events, which individually wouldn't have, I did have some built-in redundancy into the process, but I got to a point where that redundancy wasn't enough. And so production had to stop. And so to give you an example, we've got CCTV, you've got the webcam, the car cam, dash cam, and we've got a separate video feed from the phone, and we've got an audio feed from the phone, which is the quality one, or used to be the quality one, and then a backup audio feed from the dash cam, which with some fairly intense post-production audio massaging can be okay. And then to improve the, oh, you're not going to do it, are you? Well, I suppose I did it to you, so why not? And to increase the sound quality even further, we had a de Lavalier mic, and yet we still, with all those backups and all those redundancies, have managed to lose some content. And the reason is that we've had multiple failures that have overlapped. So what happened on the camera, and the camera on its own would have been, the phone camera on its own with the phone audio would have been enough. But when you plug the Lavalier lapel mic in, if it's flat, if the batteries have gone flat, then you get no audio at all. So I think that's a mistake. I think if you've got an external mic plugged in and you're not getting any sound through the external mic, I think, possibly the video recording program should indicate that there's no sound. You should superimpose just for purposes of monitoring, a sound wave over the top of the video, so that you can pretty much do a sound check while all at the same time you're recording the video and doing a video check. So then we get so we've got video footage, but no sound. So then, but you're like, all right, Angry, then you can fall back on the dash cam audio. Well, what happened was, when the clocks changed, we changed the time on the dash cam because it doesn't do it automatically. And in doing that, and I'm possibly doing it in the dark, I don't know, I've done something stupid, I've also changed the year, I think I reset the whole thing. I just reset the whole clock and entered the time again, and didn't realize that the date had got reset to 2018, which must have been the year that the camera came out. And so it hasn't quite happened like this, but to cut a long story short, all that webcam, all that dash cam footage got deleted because it looked like it was old footage. It looked like basically I'd put an old chip in there and it failed to overwrite itself with the newer footage. So I deleted it all, I admit that. So now we've got nothing. We've just got the reasonable quality video and the requirement for someone to act as a just try and get this all turned off. We need someone to act as a lip reader to get any content, because there's absolutely zero audio. So that's a shame, really, because. But what I was going to talk about, in addition to redundancy, as I say, is resilience. Now, there's a famous story that was told by a guy called Alistair Cook. And Alistair Cook was old school BBC. He was their correspondent in America at a time when they only had one correspondent in America. And probably weren't that interested in doing much more than that, because we were still a bit annoyed about the fact that we'd lost the colonies, and also that at that time America was like more treated as a curiosity, who have done things in a weird way they've not carried on following the British example, and were curiosity, an intellectual curiosity. And Alistair Campbell used to do a weekly radio broadcast called Letter from America. Now, this was days before computer, and what happened was he'd done thousands of these things over the years. It was very popular. He was like, he was like a populist social blogger, but it was all done on paper, and he had a secretary who was sort of he didn't really have an office. He just had a woman who came round and probably typed up his handwritten notes and sort of filed all these stuff away in bundles of months and years. And what they did was, in tidying out, they put some of his letters in a black plastic bag, a bin bag. Well, the intention wasn't that these letters should be thrown out, but that's what his secretary did. When he said, "Where's that massive great black plastic bag of all my letters?" She said, "Oh, I've taken all the rubbish out." And so what happened was, he lost, a very large chunk of his handwritten notes, I suppose. Which, as a historian, is, historians salvage what they can, don't they? They don't get too upset about stuff that's been lost to history, because history's always losing stuff. But basically, when they realised what she'd done, his reaction was quite interesting, and which is why I've remembered it for so long. And that is that they both agreed that they would never discuss it again so long as they lived. It wouldn't be mentioned. It was an event, he said, that was so terrible, so great in its magnitude, that the only conceivable reaction that wouldn't have sent them both mad would be just to forget that she'd done it. And let's face it, she'd probably have a good case to argue that he was an idiot putting him in a bag in the first place, and he would be an idiot. He probably thinks that she's an idiot not to realise that it wasn't a bag full of rubbish. So I've spent a lot of time thinking what I'm going to do about these recordings, and I have got some video, which you'll probably see if I upload it, has got a 2018 date mark on it. Seriously, you can't just go down this little bit of road at 5 miles an hour less. So what that involves is, just to spell it out for you, is going through every single bit of dash cam video that I have got, and trying to listen in and see if I'm talking in it. And if I'm talking in it, then to try and marry it up with the relevant video file. And you know, there is a formula for doing it, because although the date says 2018, at least it's consistently clocking up days and hours and minutes at the same time as real time is clocking up days and hours. So what I'm saying is that, you know, I've got this sort of formula where I deduct 7 years, 2 months and 1 day, and I can work out what real day is signified by the 2018 date. But, you know, it's very time consuming. And then the fact that I've lost my favorite headphones, and I've now had to find a pair of USB headphones, which I don't, you know, are uncomfortable, too tight for my head, etc., etc. So, you know, I think I'm going to adopt the Alistair Campbell, not Alistair Campbell, what am I talking about? Alistair Cook. Alistair Campbell was Tony Blair's political advisor. Don't listen to anything he says. Alistair Cook. Oh, this journey is going to prove Watson's first rule of travelling to work, which is that it doesn't matter what time you set off, I always arrive at 8:45. So I've definitely been late today, as you can tell, if the CCTV is on. And yet I've still got 3 minutes to get to work, and I probably left 10 minutes later than I normally do. So I arrive at 8:45, whatever time I set off. If only Einstein was still alive, he'd be able to explain this to me. So perhaps I know what it is. Basically, it's an application of the general theory of relativity, which is that as you speed up, time slows down. That's got to be it. Oh my God, why didn't I think of that before? The faster I go in this car, because the time is relative to me, that everybody else's time starts to slow down. And the later I am, the faster I drive. Therefore, the world slows down and waits for me. Oh, that's brilliant. Because it's limited by how fast the car can drive. I mean, I probably can't drive much faster. I'm certainly not really going to be approaching this limit of the speed of sound, or speed of light. So, which I think is 299,000 miles an hour. Which, I mean, even around the Sandwich bypass, I'm not going to get up to that. That explains it. I've always wondered about that. Oh, there's a headless ghost. Anyway, went to see Moulin Rouge the musical last night. This is part of our service level agreement to make money, do good dentistry and have fun. It was the fun part. We've been in practice 10 years now. 11th of November 2015 we started. So we thought we'd do something to celebrate. Everybody enjoyed it. The 4 of us went. Nobody in the car park. What is it? Is Friday the new Sunday or something? I don't understand. Anyway, you'll see this today if things work. If they don't, then you'll never see it. And you'll never know why. Okay, bye.